Okay, so we're at a point in the season right now where I feel like I'm getting on here every week and I'm doing the same damn intro where I'm like, I have no idea who's good anymore, but it keeps ringing true. The Packers lost, the Chiefs lost, the Colts lost. I'm confused. Let's get right into the video. Oh no, everyone fear Baltimore. Maybe. See, when a team has a game like this, I'd like for it to be against any fucking team other than Miami, because, like, yeah, the Ravens' offense looked good in parts. They scored 14 real quick, played with their food for a bit, then hung 2 more tutties, and then called it a day, because they just kind of did their thing and watched the Dolphins punch themselves repeatedly, over and over again until they fell unconscious and died due to insects eating their organs. There was a solid sequence of a fumble, penalty on 4th down, a missed kick, tripping penalty on Ollie Gordon, which was dumb, a broken play on 4th down, Ollie screamed at his coach, and Mike McDaniel definitely went into the locker room, screamed at the team for 8 minutes, and then chiefed in the corner for the rest of halftime. I mean, this Ravens team just blasted them. There's not much more that needs to be said here analysis-wise. This was never a game from the very beginning, which, again, happens on Thursday sometimes. It's just funny because, like, what did Mike McDaniel do wrong in this game, really? The game plan, probably not perfect, but there's just, you can't win a game when you beat yourself that badly. You just can't. And Baltimore, this was a much-needed win, and this is a huge confidence booster too, so I'm excited to see what Lamar can do from here and try to bring this season around. But before we continue, this video is sponsored by Walter Picks, the app that helps you win your league instead of mentally destroying you every single Sunday. It's genuinely insane how detailed this app is. With advanced player stats you can't find anywhere else, and a full-time team constantly updating their projections, you'll always make the right decisions on who to start or sit, and what trades to make. You can even sync your fantasy leagues to the app for personalized insights, and it's basically like having your own fantasy football data analyst in your pocket. And as you can see here, they also have a player prop evaluator feature where you can go through and look at all the player props and see what works best for you. And just look at all the data that they have available, as it's just an immeasurable amount. They really have everything that you could possibly want. And if you want to stop losing to that one guy in your league who's drafting a kicker in round 3 and still winning, download Walter Picks yourself using my link in the top of the description, or just scan the QR code on the screen right now, and you'll take your game to the next level. So big shout out to Walter Picks for sponsoring this video, and for keeping me from, not completely imploding in my league. So thanks to them again, and without further ado, let's get back to the video. Boy, did I pick a great fucking game to give all my attention to. This was a make or break game for Caleb Williams. They got the easiest matchup in football this week on offense. I had a whole piece written too before the game on the Bengals defense, but we'll fucking get there. Trust me, we will. But anyways, right out of the gate, this was a great time, and it was clear it was going to be a fun one. T. Higgins was in takeover mode, Joe Flacco was semi-chubbed, and Caleb Williams was locking in. Now, to be honest, I was also really hoping that the Bears would just run the offense through Caleb in the pass and let him air it out about 50 times, but instead, it was the Manungai show. And because this is the Bengals, you can do whatever the fuck you want against them, and it will work, because this defense has been significantly worse than last year for the most part, and it shouldn't take a game like this to fucking realize that. After they were drowned and had their corpse put through a tree shredder by the New York Football Jets, they had a players-only meeting, right? They all sat down and were like, okay, everyone, we can't let this happen again. That was not okay. We need to tackle better. We need to fucking guard better. Only to allow near 50 points, so that's now 2 weeks in a row of the Bengals offense averaging 40 points, and they're 0-2. And for those of you that were here last year, or fucking 2 years ago, this is the same shit. And sorry for spoiling the damn surprise, too, if you didn't watch this game, because Joe Flacco was balling again, but just couldn't keep up with the Bears offense. And it looked over when he threw a pick 6, but thank God the Zebras called Edmonds down, or else we wouldn't have gotten this masterclass in chaos and comedy. But then, the Bengals went down, scored in a second, onside kick, another touchdown, and the Bengals had a lead. Joe fucking Flacco broke a career high for yards. He had near 500 with 4 touchdowns, and this was an all-time collapse by the Bears. Until
Williams slings it, Williams, Loveland, bounce off his man, he's gonna score!
What The fuck was that? I thought they were running like fucking field goal block cover 0. I was so confused until the replay showed both fucking safeties were playing for like a Hail Mary, then slammed into each other at the same time and both pulled on Marcus Williams. I mean, it's just the same exact shit since he's been doing this for like 3 seasons in a row. I want to say it's not funny anymore, but I would be lying to you. It fucking is. It's hilarious. They lost to the Jets and then allowed one of the most historically inept collapses ever. I don't understand how this keeps going. It's gonna keep going when Joe Burrow gets back. That's the fucking best part.
Oh, fuck!
Daniel Jones might be broken now. I'm a little worried about that, but we'll wait for a larger sample size before we get there. But welcome back to part 75 of Who the Hell is Even Good in the NFL. Now, I'm not a Colts hater by any means, but I'm also not 100% convinced this team is top 5, no questions asked. Without Charvarius Ward out there, this is a vulnerable secondary at best. And the offense, well, we've really only seen them from the driver's seat. The Colts have just straight up never trailed this season. Even the Rams loss, they lost at the buzzer. Now, I thought this would happen when they play the Chiefs in a few weeks, not when they played the old-ass Steelers, who are bottom 10 in expected points added on defense. But what happened on Sunday was shocking. The first drive of the Colts was a tough touchdown drive, but from there, it was a lot of uncharacteristic errors, mistakes, but mostly, the Steelers defense just had the perfect game plan for the Colts. The blueprint to beat them is out there. Now, it's not all just get pressure on Daniel Jones, which is hard enough with their offensive line, and stop Jonathan Taylor, because to be honest with you, I think the Colts kind of did it to themselves. They decided to run the offense through Daniel Jones rather than Jonathan Taylor, and they've been doing that for about a week or two now, which is all fine and good when you're playing Tennessee, but when the Unks locked in, it's a bit tougher. They rattled Daniel Jones and never stopped ringing his bell. Before this game, the Colts had 4 turnovers all year, and in this game, they had 6, and Jones was sacked 5 times. Jalen Ramsey did great at safety, which was another massive factor in the Colts struggling. TJ Watt got a ton of pressure along with the usual guys, and they just constantly gave the offense great field position. But don't even trust the score, okay? This was a blowout. This was not a game for the entire second half, basically. The Steelers just, this is their best game in like 2 years. It really was. It was incredible. And I'm confused whether this is like a negative for the Colts or a massive positive for the Steelers, but for now I'm going to chalk this game up as a little fluky. Right, Indy? This game was a fluke, right? Yeah! Similarly to the Bears game, this was a must-show-up game for J.J. McCarthy. And right out of the gate, he showed up. I mean, I thought he was cooked. His success rate was fucking historically shit, but he started out going for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns, making all the right throws and right calls. But it is the Lions' offense. And even bigger than seeing if McCarthy could perform, honestly, was, could the Vikings defense show up? I mean, they just got shredded by Herbert and Hurts, and in this one, boy, did they. This was just a Brian Flores masterclass from start to finish. They generated pressure on 47.6% of their plays, had 5 sacks, and it felt like 100. The Lions were getting shut down for most of the game. Jahmyr Gibbs was getting shredded in pass protection, and at the very end, they were able to score, but the Vikings answered back and relied on J.J. McCarthy to ice the game, and Jalen Nailor caught the pass. This was a season-saving game for the Vikings, basically. I'm still not convinced. You know, I think J.J. McCarthy still has a massive cap on this team's ceiling, but he did solid in this one. And if the Vikings defense can get back to their form of last season, who knows? Maybe they'll make a run for the playoffs. But in that division, I don't know if I'm seeing 4 teams make the playoffs. I'm really not. Okay, hear me out. Yes, this was a must-win game for the Falcons, and they lost, so Atlanta fans should be upset. But at this point, there's nothing to learn. There's nothing to be surprised about. Drake London on his own almost single-handedly willed this team to a win. The penis played solidly. Bijan did fine. The defense bounced back well enough. They forced a massive fumble to keep them in it, but they really just lost to a better team. That's the issue, though. They dug themselves into this hole all season long where they can't afford losses like this. If they lost this game by 40, I do believe Morris would have been fired, so maybe in some ways, this is the darkest timeline. Everything stays the same. 7, 8, or 9 wins will be your ceiling. You can't get anything done going 1 for 10 on 3rd down, and they would have won this game, I guess, or they could have if they had a fucking kicker, but that's besides the point. Drake Maye had another over 100 passer rating game, and still, this felt like a mediocre game for him season-wise, so that's good, but New England just got the job done. They were a little better. Atlanta is reeling and is going to need Tampa to collapse if they want a shot. So, good job, New England. You did it.
No, don't pull. No. Ah!
Every fucking week, huh, Green Bay? Can I trust you? Is that even allowed? I thought you were over your old ways. I thought you were better than this. I thought you cared more. Jordan Love became the QB1 in success rate, and I thought you'd unleash him. But no, they played down to competition again. Now, all credit in the world to Dave Canales. I think he's in an incredibly difficult situation. He knows Bryce Young sucks. He knows the Panthers paid Chubba Hubbard, but he chose the only path that could possibly result in a Panthers win in this game. Feed Rico. Like, if you swap the Panthers and Titans coaching staffs, the Panthers would be classified as a nationwide threat to peace and health. But Green Bay had every chance to win this game, and I'm not gonna blow a fuse, because maybe I'm biased and delusional, but I want to say they'll use this as a learning experience, but it's getting harder and harder for me to say this team can still win a Super Bowl. I mean, even if they make it that far, in the back of my mind, I'll be thinking, well, they did lose to Carolina and fucking Cleveland, so I don't know, but the Panthers outgrinded them, and after Rico ran for 141 total yards and 2 touchdowns, the Panthers won the game on a last-second field goal, and they now have a winning record despite being the underdog in every game this year. So again, credit to Dave Canales. They really did a great job, and Green Bay, I don't know what else to say other than fix your shit. This is unacceptable. I know the Panthers aren't like the bottom of the bottom barrel like Cleveland, but it just felt similarly in that sense of you needed to win this game. You didn't need to just fucking... It's not even playing down to competition. It's that you lost the game. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe we need to start pointing the finger at Matt LaFleur. Who knows? This was the only way this game was going to go. 2 top 5 defenses and wildly inconsistent offenses. And both units came to play. Early on, Bo Nix was 1 for fucking 7, 3 yards and a pick, and CJ Stroud was doing his best Tua impression in more ways than fucking 1. So with him in a wheelchair and relearning the alphabet, Davis Mills came in. Do I need to say anything else? Yeah, the Texans' already shit offense just completely tanked. And eventually, Nix and the Broncos offense, once given their 18th chance, got a field goal to win it in the 4th quarter again. And I don't know what else to say. Do you want me to celebrate? You beat Davis Mills and Woody fucking Marks. They technically kinda sort of have the best record in football, but I don't know what else to say. I really was hoping for a Bo Nix breakout game where he finally could prove that he could do something against a good defense. But no, like, I'm sorry. If the Texans had anything other than a bottom 2 offense, Denver probably loses this game. Feel like I'm being a hater, but I don't know, man. Every time I'm like, I'll give you guys more credit if you show up in this game, and the offense doesn't. So, that's where I stand. Well, I was pretty much spot on with this game, and no matter how many injuries the 49ers sustain, Shanahan can run a strong offense around fucking anyone with a pulse, and the Giants will lose to anyone with a pulse. New York had chances early on, but there was a missed false start on the Niners on a 4th down, and then the Giants had 2 straight fucking false starts and couldn't stop a single play all day long. I don't know what else to say. There's nothing to take away here. Michael Williams tore his ACL, so there's another Niners injury. Happens every week. The Giants have nothing. They need to change their head coach. That's all there really is to it. Yeah, I have so little to say about this fucking Titans team, it's crazy. If this wasn't the game they'd win, though, I don't know what will be. This team will not win a game all season. That's my prediction. Unless a meteor strikes half a team's facility, this team will never out-talent or out-scheme anyone. I mean, do you remember what it took for them to beat the Cardinals? Like, 9 miracles. I mean, they had a pick 6 and a special teams score, and the offense managed to do nothing all game again. Because remember, the offensive staff is still a bunch of Callahan's guys. His stench is following this team, even though the man has been executed. Brian Callahan has become a martyr for shit coaching. They need to get rid of the virus at its core. But meanwhile, for the Chargers, you won. You beat the worst team in football. Good job. Joe Alt got hurt again, so fuck you, I guess.
I'm jaking it.
It's been a minute, huh? Sure you missed Raiders football? I know you do. Don't lie to me, but some of you may be shocked to hear this, but I really enjoyed this game. For some reason, mayhaps it was Stockholm Syndrome, but just hear me out, alright? This game reminded me of an Oakland Raiders game, and I would have enjoyed to be there for this one, sort of. I mean, we know the team's bad, but the entire second half was just moderately fun. There was something interesting about battling a team to the end that's better than you, and we hung around. Geno played better. Genty had room to run, and Brock Bowers is that motherfucker, in case you forgot. He owned this game. There was no guarding Brock Bowers, and the fourth quarter was back and forth, and overtime was good too, because of course, we weren't stopping anything, but we got the ball. We went right down the field, scored, and we missed the two-pointer, which was fine by me, man. I mean, I'm just saying, the tank is rolling on. All our stars showed out for the most part. This is what I wanted to see. We are building on something, arguably. Maybe. Also, Greg Little hit like a 68-yard field goal, so yeah, take that for what you will. This game happened, I think. I don't know, but before the year I wasn't high on the Rams purely because I wasn't sure Stafford's back would be able to hold up for a whole season, and so far it more than fucking has. The dude is leading the league in touchdowns and is showing no sign of slowing down, but it's all going to come down to next week. They absolutely choked that first game to the Niners, and if they lose this one, they're probably fucked for the division. So this game is everything. Bring everything you have, Rams, and you need to win it. And for the Saints, Tyler Shuck played not well, but he did play, so yeah.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no.
Like I implored all of you on the podcast, in games like this, just try to enjoy it. You don't need to analyze every fucking play, just enjoy two teams giving it their all. And there's something about when the Bills play the Chiefs, I feel like Buffalo plays like 10 times harder than they do every game. Now, you'd like for them to be able to do that every fucking week, but there's something about playing Kansas City that just gets them going. And they continue to own the Chiefs in the regular season. It's interesting, though, because this was a must-win game for the Chiefs if they wanted any chance at the number one seed, but now that is gone. The Chiefs couldn't score at the end of the half on the 1-yard line, and they ended up battling back. They had a 4th and 17 conversion and then another 4th down touchdown, but overall, they just couldn't protect Mahomes. The Bills got 15 hits on him, and they just continued to run through them with James Cook, and Josh Allen diced them up through the air. The Bills are still a really good team. Are they better than the Chiefs? Well, maybe this game proved that, but I think that this was the best that the Bills had played all season long in terms of defensive pressure. Ed Oliver was great out there. Rousseau, Joey Bosa looked like he actually tried for the first time all year. So I don't know, it's frustrating because the Bills probably won't be able to do this every single week, but maybe after that bye, they're just a whole new team. Who knows? But I'm going to need to see more still.
Seattle Seahawks very good this year. They do very good.
Sam Darnold, at fucking halftime, was 16 for 16, 280 yards, and 4 touchdowns with a perfect passer rating. Yeah, that's literally all you need to say. The Seahawks are slowly becoming a complete team. They've evolved more than any team since week 1 in my mind, and they are just a machine. They did get nerfed a bit. Ernest Jones went down with an injury, so thanks NFL. That was getting a little scary, but this game was just sad to watch. Like, we were not going to get a worse Sunday Night Football game than this, and the reason why it was so sad as the game went on is that Jaden Daniels was still in the game, late in the game for no fucking reason. And what happened? He broke his arm, and it was just disgusting. Absolutely vile to watch on replay, and his season is over. So good job, Commanders. Your year is also over. You fucking ruined another goddamn quarterback. I saved the RG3 joke before, but I was like semi-joking. But no, they did the same shit. Maybe the issues run deeper than Dan Schneider. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I can't believe they're going to ruin another fucking generational quarterback. Unbelievable. You know, leave it to the Dallas Cowboys to make the Cardinals look like fucking Super Bowl contenders. This game was just honestly predictable at this point. Like, yeah, this was the last chance that the Cowboys had to be, you know, anything fearful in the NFL. They still have a high-powered offense, but do they anymore? I mean, when you get shut down by the Cardinals and then allow Jacoby Brissett to go for 3 touchdowns on the other side of the ball, I mean, you don't deserve to be even called an NFL team at that point. That's just fucking crazy. The Cardinals just worked them all day long. This game was never really close. From the very beginning, it was Arizona's game, and they just kind of destroyed them. They controlled everything. And again, the Cardinals are a bottom 6 team in the league. So I don't know, man. It's over for Dallas. This is their last shot. They're fucking they're fucking cooked. It's over. But before we continue, you know what time it is. It's time for the TubFrog Discord Awards, where I turn to you, the people, to see what you thought were the best and worst plays and players from Week 9, and without further ado, let's begin, because I asked what you thought the best play was from Week 9, and I didn't think that this was really going to be close, and it wasn't. It went to Greg Little's 68-yard field goal. Yay, I'm glad you guys chose a Jaguar. And then, I asked what the worst play was from Week 9, and I went to Jordan Love throwing across his body to absolutely no one. I cannot believe that Colston Loveland's play didn't win either best or worst play. That's kind of crazy to me. And then, I asked what the best game was from Week 9, and this one shouldn't have been close, and it wasn't. It went to Bears vs. Bengals. Genuinely a contender for the best game of the year. Probably not ahead of Bills Ravens, but we'll see. And then I asked who the best player was from Week 9, and it went to Sam Darnold, undoubtedly, which he could have broke the NFL record for touchdowns, but second half was a bit slower. And then I asked who the worst player was from Week 9, and it went to Jordan Love, which is also entirely fair. Now, a lot of it I don't think was his fault. It was scheming, but he still was bad out there. Then I asked who the worst team was from Week 9, and you'd think it could go to the Bengals, but no, it ended up going to the Green Bay Packers, because they lost to the Carolina fucking Panthers. And then I asked what your favorite ocean was, and it was actually a tight one, but and ended up going to the Atlantic Ocean. A steaming take from you all as always. But anyways, before we go, once again, make sure to download Walter Picks using the link in the description below, or just scan the QR code on the screen, whatever works for you, and big thanks to Walter Picks again for sponsoring this video. But if you like this video, then subscribe, because I got a lot of videos on the channel just like this one. And if you did like this video, watch this video I did a few weeks ago on Dan Marino's entire career in Miami. It's pretty good, trust me. And thanks to all my Patrons for pledging tiers. Truly does mean a lot, but anyways, until next time.